haven't made any videos for ages now, so I've decided to make a few more and everything, and see how I get on. That's the basic thing anyway. I've been in the wilderness really, I suppose. The thing is, like, I've been debating pro theory so long now, sort of pretty much 8 years really now. It's a long time, and sort of I've had bits and bobs of interest here and there, but it's always too extreme for people, and I think people always just think it's the linguistic argument. That's the big problem I'm having at the moment really, is what they call the linguistic argument, which basically means when I'm debating this with someone, or on a thread on a forum for example, I often revert back to plus the opposite plus neutral, which seems really silly and stuff thing to say, really silly thing to say, but that is the way that pro theory works, you see. Now, I don't like to drop names here or anything, but apparently Charles Darwin said only those who adapt to change survive, okay? And that the whole point, or points plural in fact, of pro theory is it changes and adapts to every argument that it encounters, you see. That's the whole point of it being a theory of everything. I don't mean a theory of a lot of things, a theory of quite a few things, a theory of physics or mathematics or philosophy. It's a theory of every single thing, every plural thing and every neutral thing. These are the points of pro theory, you see. It's difficult, it's a different approach, it's quite a radical approach I suppose, compared to what people are used to. But it's the multi-tiered approach. So for every single thing there's an opposite and neutral potential in pure theory, and people also seem to think, quite understandably of course, they think that one of the comments I've had recently is you can't even count with pro theory. You can't count numbers and stuff because you're always going the opposite, plus neutral, etc, etc, etc. Now that's not strictly true, in fact. It's true, false and neutral, you see. I know this seems confusing, but this really is simple, logical thought processes. Okay? This is what happens when you really, really, really think about things, and you think like a child, which that is the way that I think. I try and think extremely simply and like a child, basically, because that just happens to be how I see the world. You know, I'm not a, shall I say, a specialist in the sense that I learn a tiny little piece of information and I become an absolute expert on that one thing. I'm an expert, I suppose, on seeing the big picture really. That's the way that I see things. And obviously you can see the big picture, or you can specialise, or you can be neutral in the sense that you're not bothered about the large or the small picture in this context. I see a lot of other theories of everything, and they're all physics based, or mathematics based. Very few that I have seen myself are actually philosophy based as well. But a theory of everything has to cover everything. It's no good me writing loads of complicated physics and stuff, loads and loads and loads of different equations and stuff, saying if we do such and such we should do such and such, and only the top physicists in the world can understand this theory and stuff, and the public haven't got a clue, and there's loads of big words in there. And we can take that approach. I've tried to answer a lot of physics essays on my website and stuff, but that's only as an introduction to the discussion about pro theory really. That's the point. If you read my essays on protheory.com, which seems to be updated by me hopefully, so it looks like an actual website rather than just a load of strange pictures and things thrown together with a load of cryptic essays. It needs to be accessible to every single person who reads it, so it needs to be accessible to children, okay? So this is the kind of stuff that you can teach at primary school, or you can teach at advanced physics lectures in universities or something, okay? And that is the point. People always seem to think that it's about physics, it must answer physics exclusively, or it must be described in terms of physics, and it must be simplified for the public, as if the public can't possibly understand a theory of everything. But I seriously think that every single human has the same capabilities and abilities to learn everything, given the right amount of time and the right approach to learning for them, which suits them. The only thing that would stop a person learning, in my opinion, is physical brain damage, as in something in the brain is actually physically not accessible, one part of the brain which enables, or disables rather, a certain kind of learning or a certain kind of recall. There's no, oh, it's impossible to learn such and such, it's impossible to learn this and that. That, as far as I'm concerned, that isn't really true. And certainly not unchangingly, in the same sense that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I do actually think you can. But I think it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, and I think people sort of give up, really, I suppose. But anyway, back to the point. The theory of everything should be a theory that answers everything, and that everybody, every single person can understand and use to their advantage. By their advantage I usually mean to make a more positive life for themselves, or in some way. I don't really know what positive thing this may help people with or not, but I've got a lot of ideas and stuff, but it's true, and I'm just trying my best to explain it, and just keep going with it and stuff, and I'm going to make some more videos soon about the general theory of everything, and see how I get on. Okay?